a week, but longer than that would be it'd be a
Yeah.
stretch. Yeah, it'd be a stretch for me. Yeah. So, the other topic, I'm not sure we're
Yep.
gonna have, uh, uh, well, we do have time for it. Whether we're gonna be able to cover it, that's another issue. But we'll give it a go anyway.
Yeah.
How on earth did we get here? Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
when
I
I
bet
read
you
it,
wonder what I meant.
I did,
How
I
on
read.
earth or how on sea, perhaps?
Oh yeah,
Go
well,
on.
yeah. So I did. Yeah, when I read it at first, I thought, how on earth did we get? What is it? There's a bit of a, it's a bit of a riddle, isn't it? How did we get here? It could open up a lot of topics, couldn't it? How did we get here? I mean, how did we get to this point?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
over to you again.
Yeah, there's a context, isn't there, about that? But I
Yeah,
just sort of thought, it's quite an interesting thing to think about. How do we actually arrive in this world, if you like? I
right.
mean, we all probably know the basics and all the rest of it, but going back almost to school days of biology lessons and things, it's quite an interesting thing, which I suppose everybody knows the basics about, but we don't perhaps know the finer points of it, maybe. So I thought we'd just have a look at how we become what we are, how we are on this planet at this time,
Right.
etc. What we've gone through to get here, and it's all about that little thing we call sperm. So we're putting a word like that on our podcast, and it's quite hard to come up with any sort of conclusion one way or another about the performance or what sperm actually is, so to speak. In
Right.
fact, until Shakespeare's time, it was called, for some reason, it was called sparm, which I suspect just had to do with the pronunciation being a bit different then. But it was in about the 1830s or 40s that a British anatomical, is that the word? Um, research paper or
Right.
guide actually designated sperm for the first time as spermatozoa,
Ah.
and uh, and that's how it's been known ever since. But still shortened to the word sperm. Now, what is sperm? Well, in some ways, they are heroic because they're like they're like the astronauts of human biology, you could say.
Right.
The only cells in the body, as far as I know, that are designed to leave the body and explore other worlds, if you like, because no
Yeah.
other cells as such have to do that. So on the one hand, they are heroic astronauts. On the other hand, though, I'm afraid to say they're sort of blundering idiots because because you shoot them into a womb and they faff about not knowing where to swim. They've got no sense of direction, which may not be a good thing for us fellas. We always think we have a great sense of direction in our driving, don't we? But maybe we're not sort of followed by that with the spermatozoa. So they have no sense of direction. And frankly, I think it's true to say that they are curiously ill-equipped to carry out the task that evolution gave them, the one task. They don't do it properly. So on the one hand, they're heroic astronauts. On the other, they're blithering idiots, really, in the way that all of that works. And just to illustrate that, without help, unaided, a sperm would take about 10 minutes, a single sperm, to cross the word on a page, tiny little distance, but they distance, but they have no sense of direction, and without any aid, that's what they would do. They would get absolutely nowhere. But of course, this is presumably why the male orgasm or climax is the extravagant, vigorous endeavor that it is. to a man, to a bloke like us, a climax, an orgasm is a burst of pleasure. But in reality, it's a rocket launch, a rocket launch for all those sperm. And yeah, once expelled from the male, they, as I say, they swim around, hoping that perhaps they will be drawn to an egg, and maybe there's some sort of signal that can create that some, I don't know, chemical signal that might draw them to the egg. But in reality, it's a difficult journey, and statistics show that on a normal, shall we say, one act of carnal relations, the likelihood of a sperm meeting an egg are about 3% successful, and it's supposed to be getting worse. And in fact, nowadays in the Western world, apparently 1 in 7 couples seek help in conceiving because they're just not doing it. Now, something that may be relevant to this is that a lot of studies in recent years have shown that the male sperm count has dropped significantly. In fact, the most long-term study, I can't remember the name of the company that did it, but over nearly 40 years, including 200 different studies, it calculated that since 1973 to 2011, the male sperm count around the world had dropped by 50%. Now, that's actually quite staggering when you think about it. And various reasons have been put forward for that. For example, diets or lifestyle, even, and a serious one, even tight underwear has been put forward as a possible reason why men have lost a lot of their sperm count, which in turn produces ultimately even less babies, which is maybe partly why the birth rate in so many countries is that much lower. But all that said, it's very difficult to actually prove one way or another whether a sperm count or a general sperm count has dropped, because healthy men of any age really, but certainly of in their prime, have such huge variations of sperm production. And those variations are producing in a single, well, I tell you what, from 1 million to 120 million in 1 milliliter of fluid. 1 million sperm to 120. Now, they say the average is about 30.